Welcome back to Development and Social Welfare Law Module 2. Today, we are looking at international law and development. This is your host, Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo. When we talk about international and human rights law, we are talking about a set of laws and principles that aim to protect and promote human rights and fundamental freedoms at the international level. It is a branch of international law that deals with the protection and promotion of human rights and dignity, and is based on the principles of universality, indivisibility, and independence of all human rights. International human rights includes treaties and conventions, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, customary international law, general principles of law, decisions of international courts and tribunals, and International Court of Justice, European Court of Human Rights. It also covers the wide range uh, of rights, including civil and political rights, life, liberty, and freedom of speech. It also encompasses economic, social, and cultural rights, which is education, healthy, and social security. It also looks at rights of specific groups like children, women, refugees, indigenous people. The main goals of international human rights are to protect individuals and groups from human rights violation, promoting human dignity and well-being. It holds states and other actors accountable for their actions, and it provides remedies and reputations of human rights violation. And international and human rights law plays a crucial role in the promoting development by establishing minimum standards for human dignity and well-being. So what they do is that when we are talking about social welfare and development a law, so there is a standard that has to be met for uh, for the dignity of an individual. So the governments and the people that are promoting this, they have to ensure that an individual doesn't go beyond the standards that have been set. That is establishing minimum standard for human dignity and well-being. That's why you see that when there is the international get concerned when there is drought, so that they are able to help and provide relief, so that the human dignity and standard is maintained, protecting vulnerable populations from exploitation and abuse. Um, it also promotes social justice and equality, empowering individuals and communities to claim their rights and holding governments and institutions accountable for their actions. It provides a framework for development policies and programs, ensures access to essential services like healthcare, education, and social welfare, and protecting rights to water, food, and adequate housing. So this for when you see they are promoting uh, having your own house, getting your plot, building, it is enforced. Your rights are enforced by international rights, international development and human rights, protecting rights to water and adequate housing, supporting sustainable development and environmental protection, and it also foster international cooperation and assistance. So the key international human rights instruments relevant to development include Universal Declaration of Human Rights, International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Convention on the Rights of the Children, Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, and also Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. So when we talk about this declaration and convention, that means that they said there was a time when a group of people that were concerned sat and had to draft the policies and the rules and laws on these issues. So, by integrating human rights into development policies and programs, governments and organizations can ensure that the development is equitable, sustainable, and respectful of human dignity. These instruments recognize and protect rights essential for development, such as rights to life. So, the reason for international law and human rights is that they may compel governments. For example, this is Zambia is a sovereign country, and without these international laws, you may find that the leadership of Zambia or the government of Zambia may do things to bring down the dignity of human being, and also they may not concentrate on development. So that's why you find that the international law or international people comes in when the country is not doing what is right, and there are sanctions that are given uh, to that particular nation just because of the rules and the laws that have been set internationally in building the integrity and dignity of human being. So that is this instrument recognizes and protects rights essential for development, such as right to life, right to education, right to health care, right to social security, right to adequate standard of living, right to water and sanitation, right to food, right to housing, right to work and fair labor condition, right to participation and self-determination. So all these rights, they are inherent rights that have been given internationally. So if, for example, if you have got the ability to do business which is genuine and lawful, nobody should stop you. So whatever that you do, you are protected by the by international law. Also, like rights to food, rights to sanitation. So these compel the government, and that's why we vote in and vote out. The government that cannot fulfill these rights, as the citizens, they are. We have got rights to remove that government which is not providing the rights that belongs to us as human beings. So by applying international human rights law to development, we can ensure that development is equitable, sustainable, and respectful of human dignity. So when we talk about equitable, that it means that the development must be able to reach every person, and also which looks at international human rights law applies to development in several ways, like rights-based approach. Development policies and programs should be designed to respect, protect, and fulfill human rights. So whatever that happens, or whatever that we do, it's done in promoting human rights and also protecting the rights of people. So it also has to base on poverty reduction. Addressing poverty and economical inequality is essential for realizing economical, social, and cultural rights. It's also protecting, participating, and inclusion. Ensure that the development decision-making process involve the participation of all stakeholders, especially marginalized and vulnerable groups. So when we talk about participation and inclusiveness, we are talking about the decision. Every decision that is made should include like vulnerable people. The blind must be there. The uh, people living with disability must be represented in a given. For example, when we are making constitution, it has to be, they have to be represented, including the youths and the children. Non-discrimination, development policies and programs should not discriminate against individuals or groups based on race, gender, age, disability, or other status. So we are talking about this non-discrimination, that it should not discriminate because you are a woman you cannot do this, no, because you are a black person you cannot do this, because you are white it should not be done like this, because you are young or because you are disabled. It has to be non-discrimination. So when we talk about development should not select certain group of people. It also makes access to essential services, ensure access to essential services like healthcare, education, water, sanitation, which are fundamental human rights. So the leadership is compelled to do this. So that's why you, as the community legal officer, you are supposed to advocate, to enforce, to foster, and to ensure that the governments or the people in leadership, they are accountable to provide these fundamental human rights. Also, environmental protection. Development should be sustainable and environmental friendly, respecting the right to a health environment. So, when we talk about environment, there are times whereby this company wants to bring. There is a company that wants to come. Just looking at the side um, national economic development, but without taking care of the lives of people. Now, in this case, that's where now it is vital, you as the legal officer in the community, to be able to protect the people in the community from exploitation, no matter how best that development can be. If it is not if it is not environmental friendly, then uh, that development is not welcome. If it is bringing hazards to human rights and dignity, then it is not welcome. So you are there to protect the rights and the human dignity. Accountability. Hold governments and development actors accountable for their actions and their impact on human rights. Then it also builds the capacity, support capacity building for governments and civil society to implement human rights based development. It also looks at international cooperation, encourages international cooperation to support human rights based development, particularly in areas like trade, investment, and aid. Also, monitoring and evaluation. Regularly monitor and evaluate development policies and programs to ensure the respect and fulfillment of human rights and human dignity. So the Millennium Development Goals, and Sustainable Development Goals are two sets of global adopted by United Nations to promote development, reduce poverty, and improve living standards. So there is what is called the Millennium Development Goals (MDGs), which has been set for the Sustainable Development Goals. So these we have got two. In this millennium, we have had what is called Millennium Development Goals and also Sustainable Development Goals, which has been formulated to fulfill the development and social welfare of humanity. These are aimed to improve living and promote development, but a sustainable development goals take a more holistic and sustainable approach. Let's look at Millennium Goals. These were the goals that were set from 2000 to 2015. And these were aimed at number one, eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, achieve universal primary education, and also promote gender equality and empower women. If you have seen from 2000 to 2015, the women rights have been empowered. It is from this development agenda where even extreme poverty, I think it has come down, reduced child mortality. You know, uh, we are running to 100% child mortality. Like there were so much children death, and in the Millennium Goal, they worked on this, and I think we have got less children who are dying. In our days, there were diseases that children will not survive, and only a few will survive. Then to improve mental health, combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. That this was the target by 2015, and we have seen the result of this, and also ensure environmental sustainability, develop a global partnership for development. I think we have seen globalization and partnership in the development. Now, now we are running in what is called Sustainable Development Goals, which are running from 2015 to 2030. So now these goals have been aimed. It is your duty as a development officer, legal development officer, to shout no poverty, zero hunger, good healthy and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sustainable and sanitation, affordable and clean energy. So these goals have been set, and you are there as a legal officer to promote them. This is to advocate in the community, decent work and economical growth, industrial innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities. So, responsible consumption and production, climate action. So, these are the 17 goals that has been set in the sustainable development goals: life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institution, partnership for the goals. So the key differences between Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals are that aim for sustainable development. The Sustainable development goals are more comprehensive, covering environmental, social, and economical aspects. Then they also the sustainable development goals have a stronger focus on human rights, gender equality, and climate change. And it has also have a more participatory approach involving government, civil societies, and private sectors. The international organization, there are also some organizations that have been set internationally to foster the agenda of development. And these organizations, they are mandated to ensure that there is international development, there is development which is promoted globally. So international organizations play a crucial role in promoting development globally. These organizations work together to address global development challenges, provide financial and technical assistance, and promote cooperation among countries. So here is some or an overview of the key laws and functions of some major international organizations. So there are major international organizations that I want us to look at. Number one, let's United Nations. So United Nations is there to promote peace, security, and cooperation. It is also there to set global development agendas like sustainable development goals. It also there to provide humanitarian aid and emergency response. It supports sustainable development and human rights. Then we have got World Bank. The World Bank is mandated to provide financing and technical assistance to development projects, and it focuses on poverty reduction and economical growth. It supports infrastructure development, education, and healthcare. It also promotes good governance and institutional reform. Then we have got International Monetary Fund, which promotes international monetary cooperation and exchange rate stability. It also provides financial assistance and policy advice to countries facing economical challenges, and it supports poverty reduction and economical growth. Then we've got the World Trade Organization. The World Trade Organization promotes free trade and economical cooperation, sets rules for international trade, and supports developing countries' integration into the global economy. We have got the United Nations Development Programme, supports sustainable development and poverty reduction. It also focuses on democratic governance, climate change, and disaster risk reduction. Provides technical assistance and capacity building programs. Then we have got the United Nations Children Fund. It promotes children rights and well-being. It supports education, healthcare, and protection for children, and it also responds to humanitarian crises and emergencies affecting children. So these are the international organizations that have been put or that has been set for development agenda. So thank you so much for having been with me, and this is your host Dr. Tulipo Mwenfumbo, and this is what international law helps in what is called uh, social welfare and development and social welfare law. So let's promote development and social welfare by following the guidelines that have been given internationally.